Hi, I'd like to show you how I use Submachine to create animated subtitles for little videos that I do. So you can see here I have a very basic sequence that's got video and audio. There is a graphic here I use that is a title. And then you'll see something else here. This is a Submachine subtitle that has the formatting that I want, and I will describe that later, but I want to show you the basic workflow that you go through. So I've got my sequence set up. I will go to text, transcript, and since I've done this before, I'll tell it to re-transcribe, but you could transcribe it yourself. This is a very short video. I've truncated it. And there we go. The next thing I'm going to do is generate captions. And I have a preset here. If you look at the values, there's some things that you should do. One of them is make sure that it's single line. And then I believe it's maximum length in characters. You move this slider all the way to the left so that Submachine will work correctly. So I will have it create these captions based on this preset. It should make quick work of that. Now we have our captions. Now what I want to do is export them to an SRT file. And I will refer to this SRT file when I use Submachine. So I have a folder where I put all of them, and you can see that I've already done it, but I will add this. I don't want to overwrite the one I created before. I'll call this short. Now we get to Submachine. Once you've installed it, if you don't see it, you need to add it as a panel. You can go to Window, Extensions, and you can open it. Once you've done that, it's just a panel. In Premiere Pro, you can move it around. You can put it where you want. It's got a few tabs. You'll need to log in using your key and credentials. I'm going to go to Workflow. That's where things start. You click here. You can see a dialog came up. Sometimes it comes up in back, in Z order behind Premiere. So you have to come down here and select this thing to get the dialog box. That's something that threw me a little bit, but I will select that. Here is a MOGRT that comes with Submachine. And yeah, it's in a folder that I use. I have text expander here, but this is the one that I use. I usually put the words down to like 17. And now you just click Create Sub. And notice down here, I've got the subtitle track. It's going to use those captions. I click Create Subs. And it takes it a minute sometimes to do whatever it's doing. It says it's loading the graphics template. If I'm not mistaken, the subtitles it generates are actually After Effects compositions. And it just kind of sits here sometimes for a while. But when it starts, you'll see that it opens the history window and you can see that it's doing stuff. And you can see a progress bar. Sometimes you have to scroll down to see the progress bar. It looks like nothing is happening. I don't think that's a great design, but I also don't think they're going to fix it anytime soon. And you have to be super careful about moving the mouse while you're doing this. They're using kind of by necessity, like a hacky way to do this. So some of your gestures that you make in the UI can have an effect that you don't want. So right now it is generating animated subtitles. It does 2 tracks. So it has chunks of words, and this makes it a little bit more manageable. So there was a ding. It's ready to go. If I look here, let's just open this whole panel. I'll see these are the subtitles that it generates. So they're really, again, I believe they are After Effects compositions. Now what I want to do is the style of what it generates isn't exactly what I want. If I go out here, you can see it's blue, it's in the middle, it's not the font that I want. In the template I use, I have one that I always include as the styling that I want. It's red and black lettering, it's a bit transparent. So what I can do now is sync this thing's properties to all the other ones that it's generated. So I'm going to unhide this. And what it will do is whichever composition the playhead is over, it will use that as the template. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and you have to select all the subtitles that you want to sync. And what I'm going to do is, before we were at workflow, that's where I select the files, you go to tools, and you have various sync options. I usually just sync everything. I want to sync the typeface, all this stuff. So I will click Sync All. If you have the playhead at the very beginning of the sequence, in my experience, it doesn't work. You need to put the playhead in the middle of one of the compositions that you want to use as a template. And in this case, this is just a little composition I have in there. Its only role is to be a template. I'll delete it afterwards. Here I scroll down and I see that it's doing the syncing. Again, be very careful about moving the mouse around and doing stuff. My experience is it's best to just leave it alone. And you can see it's progressing, and it's taking this little template composition that I had in there that I styled, moved around, did all that stuff. And it's applying those same properties to all the other ones. I am on a laptop, but it's got an i9 processor. It's got 64 gig of RAM. It's got a fast enough hard drive. And you can see even for a short clip, it takes a little bit of time. So I usually go off and do other things while I'm waiting for it to do this. Most of the videos I create are maybe 3 to 5 minutes long. So it is manageable. And we're getting close to the end. And I will show you what we've got. So there we go. It's done the syncing. If you look up here, as I now go scrub through the timeline, you can see that it changed the attributes for all these subtitles based on this template that I used. So what I'm going to do is go in here, and let me zoom in a little. I'll just delete this thing. I don't need it anymore. It's important. By default, the captions that it created still show up, so you want to hide this track. I have had trouble with it doing various operations. If I hide the caption track that got created, I don't know the exact behavior, but something wasn't working, and I realized I had hidden this track. So there you go. This is like a happy path through using Submachine to create subtitles.